"You look like death warmed over," Gerald Thornton hisses from behind the hostess stand, his fleshy jowls quivering with disgust. "Table 9 has been waiting for their check for 3 minutes. 3 minutes, Claire." Claire's fingers tremble as she fumbles with the leather billfold, nearly dropping it. The fluorescent lights of Thornton's, Gerald's upscale steakhouse in downtown Portland, feel especially harsh tonight, exposing every shadow under her eyes, every wrinkle in her black button-down shirt that she's been wearing for 3 doubles in a row. She hasn't slept more than 4 hours in days. Her mother's medical bills don't pay themselves. "I'm sorry, I'll get it right now. Don't bother." Gerald's voice drops to a venomous whisper, but it carries across the marble floor anyway. Several diners glance up from their plates. "My office, now." "Before we continue, please prove my mom wrong. She says I can't hit 1,000 subscribers." "Okay, let's continue." Her heart plummets. She knows this tone. She's heard Gerald use it on 3 servers this month alone. The restaurant is hemorrhaging staff, but he doesn't seem to care. There's always another desperate person willing to work for his pittance wages and cruel management style. But Claire needs this job, desperately. She follows him through the swinging kitchen doors, past the line cooks who won't meet her eyes, into the cramped office that smells of stale cigar smoke and disappointment. Gerald doesn't sit. He doesn't offer her a chair either. "This isn't working out," he says, arms crossed over his considerable gut. His tie, a garish paisley number, sits crooked beneath his collar. "You've become a liability, Claire." "Customers have complained." "Who complained?" The words escape before she can stop them. "Mr. Thornton, I've worked here for 2 years. My reviews are excellent. Last month I had the highest tips in the restaurant. Last month you weren't falling apart at the seams." His lip curls. "You look haggard, exhausted. Frankly, you're bringing down the ambiance of my establishment. This is a high-end restaurant, not some roadside diner where the help can shuffle around looking like they've been dragged through hell." The cruelty of it steals her breath. She's been working 70-hour weeks because he cut staff and refused to hire replacements. She's been showing up even when her mother called from the hospice center, begging her to visit. She's sacrificed everything for this job, and he's calling her haggard. "I've been working the hours you assigned me," she says quietly, fighting to keep her voice steady. "Double shifts, 6 days a week. You cut Jenny and Marcus last month, and someone had to cover. Don't make excuses." Gerald waves his hand dismissively, his gold rings catching the light. "You're clearly not cut out for this level of service. I need someone who can handle the pressure without looking like a zombie. Someone younger, fresher. Someone who doesn't drag down the whole atmosphere." Something hot and sharp lodges in Claire's throat. She's 37, not ancient. But she knows what he means. She's seen the new hostess he hired last week. 22, blonde, perky. She's seen the way Gerald looks at her. "I'll improve," Claire says, hating the pleading note in her voice. "Give me another chance. I need this job, Mr. Thornton." "My mother is sick and not my problem." He's already reaching for the deposit bag on his desk, dismissing her. "Clean out your locker. I'll mail your final check." "But, are you deaf?" His voice rises and she flinches. "Get out. You're done. Finished. And don't even think about asking for a reference because I'll tell anyone who calls exactly what I think about employees who can't keep up appearances." The humiliation burns through her like acid. She thinks about arguing, about standing her ground, but what's the point? Men like Gerald Thornton don't listen. They don't care. She's just another disposable body to him, easily replaced. She turns to leave, her vision blurring with unshed tears. She won't cry. Not here. Not in front of him. But as she pushes through the office door, Gerald's voice follows her, loud enough for the kitchen staff to hear. "And you can forget about unemployment. I'll fight it. I've got documentation on your poor performance going back weeks." He doesn't. She knows he doesn't. But he'll fabricate it anyway. Claire walks back into the dining room in a daze. She needs to get her locker, grab her things, and leave before she completely falls apart. The other servers avoid her gaze. They know what just happened. They're probably relieved it wasn't them. She's halfway across the floor when she remembers. Table 9 still needs their check. Table 9. The quiet corner booth she's been serving all evening. The solitary man who arrived just after 7, impeccably dressed in a charcoal suit that probably costs more than her monthly rent. He ordered the filet mignon, rare, very rare, and a glass of wine that Claire had to look up because it wasn't on the regular menu. Chateau Petrus, 1989, $300 a pour. She'd noticed him immediately, the way everyone notices him. He possesses the kind of presence that bends gravity, that makes the air feel thicker. Dark hair swept back from a face that belongs in Renaissance paintings, sharp cheekbones, a jaw that could cut glass, lips that curve with permanent amusement at some private joke. His eyes, though, his eyes are what caught her. Pale, silver blue, almost luminescent in the restaurant's romantic lighting. Old eyes, knowing eyes. Throughout her shift, she'd felt his gaze on her. Not leering, not the way Gerald looks at the young hostess. More like studying, assessing. It should have made her uncomfortable, but instead, she'd found it oddly steadying. Now, walking toward his table with her world crumbling around her, Claire realizes he's heard everything. The booth is tucked in the corner, but it's only 15 feet from Gerald's office. The walls are thin. Of course he heard. The man, she doesn't know his name, he paid with cash and didn't introduce himself, sits perfectly still, watching her approach. His wine glass is empty. His plate, scraped clean. The check folder lies unopened on the table. "I'm so sorry," Claire says, her voice barely above a whisper. Her hands shake as she reaches for the folder. "I should have brought this sooner. I'll process your payment right away." He doesn't move, doesn't acknowledge the folder. His pale eyes fix on her face with an intensity that makes her skin prickle. "You're leaving," he says. It's not a question. His voice is smooth, cultured, with the faintest trace of an accent she can't place. European, maybe. Old world. Yes. I've been let go." She tries for a professional smile and fails miserably. Why is she telling him this? He's a customer. It's not his concern. But something about his stillness, his attention, loosens her tongue. "So if you could just... What's your name?" The question startles her. Claire Whitmore." "Claire." He says it like he's tasting it, rolling it around in his mouth like the expensive wine. "How long have you worked here?" 2 years. She doesn't understand why they're having this conversation. She should be walking away, getting her things, leaving. But his gaze holds her in place. "Look, I really need to... Your employer is a fool." The words are quiet, matter of fact, but they hit her like a thunderclap. Claire glances around nervously. Gerald could come out any second. If he hears a customer criticizing him... "It's fine," she says automatically. "It's not your concern. I just need to process your payment and... No." He reaches out and closes his hand over the check folder before she can take it. His fingers are cool against hers, impossibly smooth. She has the bizarre thought that his skin feels like marble. "Sit." "I can't. I don't work here anymore." Precisely why you can sit. One dark eyebrow arches. Unless you have somewhere urgent to be? She doesn't. The hospice center doesn't allow visitors after 9, and her studio apartment, the one she'll probably lose now that she's unemployed, holds nothing but a lumpy futon and crushing loneliness. Claire sits, up close. He's even more striking. The candlelight on the table throws shadows across his features, making them seem to shift and change. Beautiful and dangerous all at once. She notices things she couldn't see from a distance. The silver signet ring on his right hand, engraved with a symbol she doesn't recognize. The perfect knot of his tie. The way his cufflinks catch the light. Onyx inlaid with more silver. Everything about him whispers money, power, control. "You heard," she says flatly. "In the office. You heard everything." "I did." No apology, no pretense. "Your employer is not only a fool, but a mediocre businessman. Thornton's has been declining for 18 months. Health code violations, staff turnover, supplier disputes. The bank is considering foreclosure on his expansion loan. Claire stares at him. How do you possibly know that? A slight smile touches his lips. I make it my business to know things, Claire, especially when I'm considering an investment. An investment in this place? She can't keep the skepticism from her voice. Thornton's is dying. Everyone knows it. Gerald's ego and poor management are running it into the ground. Not in the restaurant as it currently stands. No. He leans back, fingers steepled beneath his chin. In the building, perhaps. The location is excellent. The bones of the establishment are sound. It simply needs better management, better vision. His eyes lock with hers. Better staff. I don't understand why you're telling me this. Don't you? He tilts his head, studying her. You've been watching this place fall apart for months. You've been working impossible hours to compensate for your employer's incompetence. You've been sacrificing your health, your time, your peace of mind. For what? A pittance salary and verbal abuse? Each word lands like a small blade. Because he's right. She has been doing all of that. She's been a fool. I needed the money, she says quietly. My mother, she's in hospice. Stage 4 lung cancer. The bills. She shakes her head. Why is she telling a stranger this? The medical bills are destroying me. I can't afford to lose this job. I can't. Something flickers across his face. Not pity. She'd hate pity. But understanding. Recognition. What's your mother's name? Dorothy. Dorothy Whitmore. Claire's eyes burn. She raised me alone after my father left. Worked 3 jobs to put me through community college. She never complained. Never asked for anything. And now she's dying, and I can't even afford to make her comfortable. The man is quiet for a long moment. Then he reaches into his jacket and withdraws a business card. Heavy cardstock, embossed silver lettering. He slides it across the table. Claire picks it up. The name makes her breath catch. Nathaniel Grayson. CEO, Grayson Holdings International. There's a phone number, nothing else. She's heard of Grayson Holdings. Everyone has. They're one of the largest private equity firms in the world, with investments spanning real estate, technology, hospitality. They're powerful, mysterious, and notoriously selective. And their CEO is sitting in a dying steakhouse in Portland, watching her with those strange, pale eyes. She can't finish the sentence. Nathaniel Grayson, yes. He inclines his head slightly. Though you may call me Nate. Why are you here? The question comes out sharper than she intends. Places like Thornton's, they're not on your level. You should be dining at Le Pigeon or Canard. Not here. I go where I please, Claire. Something dangerous flashes in his eyes, there and gone. And I was hungry. There's something odd about the way he says it, about the way he emphasizes the last word. Claire's gaze drops to his empty plate, remembering how he ordered the steak cooked rare. Very rare. The chef had actually questioned the order. That's practically raw, are you sure? And she'd had to insist. When she delivered it, she'd noticed the meat was so undercooked it was almost purple. Most customers would have sent it back. Nathaniel Grayson had smiled. Why are you giving me your card? She sets it carefully on the table between them. I can't help you with whatever you're planning. I don't have business experience. I'm just a server. You're not just anything. His voice drops lower, more intimate. I've been watching you tonight, Claire. Do you know what I saw? She shakes her head mutely. I saw someone who remembers every detail. Table 6 ordered their steaks medium well, but you noticed they barely touched them. They actually prefer medium rare, but were too polite to say so. You adjusted their next order accordingly. Table 12's daughter has a dairy allergy. You didn't just avoid the butter on her vegetables. You personally spoke to the chef to ensure no cross-contamination. Table 8 was celebrating an anniversary. You arranged for a complimentary dessert without being asked, and you chose their favorite, tiramisu, based on a comment they made 20 minutes earlier. Claire stares at him. She hadn't realized anyone was paying such close attention. You're wasted here, Nathaniel continues. Your talents, your dedication, your natural grace under pressure. They're being squandered by a small-minded man who's too stupid to recognize value when it's serving him dinner. That's kind of you to say, but I'm not being kind. He leans forward, and suddenly the space between them feels charged with electricity. I'm being accurate. I'm also being selfish because I want to offer you a position. Her heart stutters. A position? I'm acquiring this building. The deal will close within the week. Gerald Thornton is about to find himself very publicly bankrupt, very publicly humiliated, and very publicly exposed for his numerous health code violations and labor law violations. I've already filed the necessary complaints with the State Labor Board. His smile is cold, predatory. He won't work in this city again. Claire's mouth goes dry. You're destroying his business? Because of me? Because he's a parasite who deserves it, Nathaniel corrects. You're simply the catalyst that moved my timeline up. I was planning to wait another month, but after what I witnessed tonight? He shakes his head. No, he ends now. The casual ruthlessness of it should frighten her. Maybe it does, a little, but mostly she feels a dark, fierce satisfaction bloom in her chest. What position? She asks carefully. General manager of the new establishment I'm opening here. Grayson's, full renovation, complete rebrand. I need someone who understands hospitality, who knows how to read people, who can build and lead a team. Someone with instincts like yours. His eyes bore into hers. I'm offering you $80,000 a year to start, with performance bonuses. Full benefits, including comprehensive health insurance that will cover your mother's care. Private room, specialized treatment, whatever she needs. Claire's world tilts. $80,000. Her mother's care covered. It's not possible. It's too much. There has to be a catch. Why? The word comes out broken. Why would you do this? You don't know me. What do you want from me? Nathaniel is silent for a long moment. When he speaks, his voice is soft, almost gentle. I want you to succeed, Claire. I want you to stop settling for men who treat you as disposable. I want you to have the security you deserve, the peace of mind you've been denied. He pauses. And yes, I want a skilled manager for my restaurant. But mostly, his gaze intensifies. I want to watch you thrive. There's something underneath his words, something she can't quite name. It feels like hunger, but not the way Gerald's leering feels. This is different, deeper, more dangerous and more intoxicating all at once. I don't understand you, she whispers. You will. He stands, towering over her. Even in her sitting position, she has to crane her neck to meet his eyes. He's tall, well over 6 feet, and moves with a fluid grace that seems impossible for someone his size. The card has my private number. Call me tomorrow. We'll discuss details, contracts, your mother's transfer to a better facility. I haven't said yes. You will. It's not arrogance in his voice. It's certainty. He knows she'll call. She knows it too. In the meantime, he reaches into his jacket again and withdraws a slim leather wallet. From it, he extracts a stack of bills. Hundreds, she realizes with shock, and places them on the table next to his empty wine glass. For your service tonight, he says. You were excellent. Claire's eyes well with tears. She can't help it. The stack is easily $2,000, maybe more. It's more money than she makes in 2 weeks. I can't accept this. You can. You will. He buttons his jacket, every movement precise and controlled. Consider it a signing bonus. But I haven't. Tomorrow, Claire. 9 a.m. There's a coffee shop on Morrison Street. Barista. Do you know it? She nods numbly. Meet me there. We'll finalize everything. He turns to leave, then pauses, glancing back over his shoulder. Those pale eyes gleam in the candlelight. And Claire? What your employer said about you looking tired, looking haggard? His lip curls with disdain. He's blind. You're radiant. Then he's gone, moving through the restaurant like a shadow, leaving Claire sitting alone at table 9 with a fortune in cash and a business card that feels like it's burning a hole in her palm. She doesn't notice Gerald emerging from his office until he's standing right beside her table. "What the hell are you still doing here?" he snarls. "I told you to—" His gaze falls on the money and his eyes widen. "What is that?" "A tip," Claire says quietly, gathering the bills with shaking hands. "From table 9. Like hell it is. Tips over 20% belong to the house. House policy." He reaches for the money, but Claire jerks it away. "I don't work here anymore, remember? You fired me." She stands, clutching the cash to her chest. "And I'm pretty sure wage theft is illegal, Gerald. Just like I'm pretty sure the labor board would love to hear about how you've been forcing servers to work unpaid overtime and pocketing their credit card tips." His face goes purple. "You little bitch! You'll never work in this city again. I'll make sure of it. You'll do nothing." The voice comes from behind them, cold and sharp as a blade. Claire spins. Nathaniel stands in the doorway, backlit by the street lamps outside. He must have circled back. Must have heard everything. "Who the fuck are you?" Gerald demands. "I'm the man who's going to dismantle your life." Nathaniel steps forward, and Gerald actually takes a step back. "I'm the man who's going to expose every health code violation, every instance of wage theft, every forged document, every lie you've told to suppliers and creditors. I'm the man who's going to ensure that by this time next week, you'll be lucky to get a job washing dishes at a truck stop." Gerald's face cycles through several colors. "You can't. I'll sue you for slander." "Slander requires falsehood." Nathaniel's smile is terrible. "Everything I intend to reveal is meticulously documented fact. I've spent the last month collecting evidence, employee testimonies, financial records, even some rather disturbing security footage from your office involving the previous hostess, the one you fired when she rejected your advances." Gerald goes white. "Get out of my restaurant," he croaks. "It's not yours anymore. The bank is foreclosing tomorrow morning. I've already purchased the debt." Nathaniel's eyes flick to Claire. "And I'm taking your best staff member with me." He holds out his hand to her. Claire stares at it for a heartbeat, then two. This is insane. This man is a stranger. She doesn't know him. She doesn't understand what he wants, or why he's doing this, or what's happening. But she's tired of being afraid. Tired of settling. Tired of men like Gerald Thornton treating her like garbage. So she takes Nathaniel Grayson's hand. His fingers close around hers. Cool, strong, steady, and something electric passes between them. She gasps softly, and she sees his pupils dilate, sees something flash in those pale eyes. Something hungry, something inhuman. Then he's leading her toward the door, past Gerald, who stands frozen in impotent rage, past the other servers who watch with wide eyes, past the kitchen staff who have gathered to witness the spectacle. The night air hits her face like a blessing. Claire breathes in deeply, tasting freedom for the first time in months. Nathaniel's car is parked at the curb, a sleek black sedan that probably costs more than her annual salary. He opens the passenger door for her. "I'll take you home," he says. "You shouldn't be alone tonight. You don't know where I live." "Apartment 4C, Riverside Towers." At her shocked expression, he adds, "I did my research, Claire. I wanted to know who I was hiring." It should creep her out. The fact that he's investigated her, knows where she lives. But somehow it doesn't. Maybe she's in shock. Maybe she's lost her mind. Or maybe she's just so exhausted, so wrung out that nothing can surprise her anymore. She gets in the car. The interior smells like leather and something else. Something dark and spicy that she can't identify. Nathaniel slides into the driver's seat with that same fluid grace, and the engine purrs to life. They drive in silence for several minutes. Claire watches the city lights blur past her window, trying to process everything that's happened in the last hour. Fired, offered a dream job, rescued from humiliation, given enough money to keep her afloat for months. It doesn't feel real, Why me? She asks finally. I mean, really. Why? Nathaniel doesn't take his eyes off the road. I told you, you have talent, instincts, dedication. That's not all of it. A muscle ticks in his jaw. No, he admits. It's not. Then what? He's quiet for so long she thinks he won't answer. Then, do you believe in fate, Claire? I don't know. Maybe. I do. His hands tighten on the steering wheel. I believe that certain people are meant to cross our paths, that certain connections are inevitable. We just met. Did we? He glances at her, and in the dashboard lights, his eyes seem to glow. I've been coming to that restaurant for 3 weeks, Claire. Always at night. Always requesting your section. You never noticed because I'm good at being overlooked when I choose to be. Her breath catches. You've been watching me? Yes. No apology. No shame. I've been watching you work yourself to exhaustion for an ungrateful tyrant. I've been watching you smile at customers even when you're dying inside. I've been watching you sacrifice everything for people who don't deserve your loyalty. His voice drops. And I've been waiting for the right moment to intervene. She doesn't know what it is. Creepy? Romantic? Insane? Honest, he finishes. I'm being honest with you, Claire. I could lie. I could pretend this is purely business, but I don't want to lie to you. What do you want? He pulls up to her building, a shabby complex with peeling paint and a broken security gate, and puts the car in park. Then he turns to face her fully, and the intensity in his gaze makes her heart race. I want to give you everything you've been denied, he says quietly. Security, respect, success. I want to watch you flourish without anyone holding you back. He pauses, seeming to choose his words carefully. I want to be the one who helps you rise. And what do you get out of it? A slow smile curves his lips. The pleasure of your company, the satisfaction of seeing justice done, the joy of watching you realize your worth. He reaches out and tucks a strand of hair behind her ear, his cool fingers lingering against her cheek. And perhaps, if I'm very fortunate, your trust. Claire should pull away. This is moving too fast. He's too intense, too strange, too everything. But she doesn't move. She sits frozen under his touch, feeling like a bird hypnotized by a snake. Except she's not afraid. I'll call you tomorrow, she whispers. 9 a.m., barista on Morrison. I'll be waiting. He withdraws his hand, and she immediately misses the coolness of his touch. Get some rest, Claire. Tomorrow, your new life begins. She climbs out of the car on shaking legs and watches as he drives away, the sedan disappearing into the night like something from a dream. In her apartment, surrounded by her threadbare furniture and overdue bills, Claire sits on her futon and counts the money. $2,500 exact. Enough to cover her mother's copays for the next month. Enough to keep her afloat while she transitions to the new job. If the new job is real. If any of this is real. She pulls out Nathaniel Grayson's business card and runs her thumb over the embossed lettering. The cardstock is heavy, expensive, real. Before she can second-guess herself, she pulls out her laptop and searches his name. The results are overwhelming. Hundreds of articles, interviews, business profiles. Nathaniel Grayson, billionaire investor. Nathaniel Grayson, philanthropist. Nathaniel Grayson, reclusive CEO who rarely appears in public and never during daylight hours. That last detail catches her attention. She clicks through several articles, and they all say the same thing. Nathaniel Grayson is famously nocturnal. He conducts all his business at night. He never attends daytime events. His staff accommodates his unusual schedule without question. Eccentric billionaire behavior, the articles say. Extreme photosensitivity, others speculate. Claire thinks about his pale skin, his cool touch, his odd emphasis on the word hungry, the way he ordered his steak nearly raw. She shakes her head. She's being ridiculous. She's watched too many movies, read too many novels. He's just a wealthy man with unusual habits, that's all. But as she lies in bed that night staring at the ceiling, she can't shake the feeling that she's stumbled into something far stranger than a simple job opportunity. She dreams of pale eyes and cool hands and a voice that whispers, "You're mine now." When she wakes the next morning, she tells herself it was just a dream. But deep down, she's not sure she believes it. At 8:45, Claire stands outside Barista on Morrison Street, wearing her nicest clothes, which aren't very nice at all. A simple black dress, flats, a cardigan to ward off the October chill. She's tried to do something with her hair, tried to hide the exhaustion in her face with makeup, but she still looks tired. She wonders if Nathaniel will regret his offer in the harsh light of day. Except it's not harsh. Portland is socked in with clouds, the morning gray and misty. Perfect vampire weather, a traitorous voice in her head whispers. She tells it to shut up. At exactly 9 a.m., a car pulls up. Not the sedan from last night. This one is larger, more formal. A driver emerges and opens the rear door. Nathaniel steps out. He's wearing a different suit, midnight blue, perfectly tailored, and sunglasses despite the overcast sky. When he sees her, he smiles, and Claire's heart does something complicated in her chest. Claire. He removes the sunglasses, and those pale eyes fix on her with laser focus. You came. I said I would. People often say things they don't mean. He gestures toward the coffee shop. Shall we? Inside, he orders them a table in the back corner, private, away from the morning crowd. He doesn't order coffee, she notices. Just water. Not a coffee drinker? She asks as they sit. I have specific dietary requirements, he says carefully. Coffee doesn't agree with me. Another odd detail to file away. For the next hour, they discuss the job. He's serious, professional, thorough. He outlines his vision for Grayson's, upscale but accessible, focusing on exceptional service and locally sourced ingredients. He describes the renovation plans, the hiring process, the timeline. He's done his research on her too, knows her employment history, her references, her strengths. You'll have full autonomy over hiring and management, he says. I trust your judgment. I'll be involved, of course. I have high standards. But the day-to-day operations will be yours to command. And my mother's care? Already arranged. He slides a folder across the table. Pacific Palliative Care Center. Private room, 24-hour nursing staff, pain management specialists. They're expecting her transfer tomorrow if you approve. Claire opens the folder with trembling hands. The care center is one of the best in the state. She looked into it months ago and nearly wept at the cost. Now it's just hers, her mother's. How much will this cost me? She asks quietly. Nothing. It's part of your compensation package. At her incredulous look, he adds, I take care of my people, Claire, especially those who are important to me. We just met. I'm a fast judge of character. His lips quirk. And I've been watching you for 3 weeks, remember? I know you're important. There's something in the way he says it, important, that makes her skin prickle with awareness. I need you to be honest with me, she says, setting down the folder. Is this a normal business arrangement, or is there something else you want from me? Nathaniel leans back in his chair, studying her. For a long moment he doesn't speak. Then, you're perceptive. Good. Yes, Claire, I want more than just an employee. I want... He pauses, seeming to choose his words with care. I want someone I can trust, someone who understands loyalty and discretion, someone who can be part of my world. Your world, she repeats. What does that mean? It means I have secrets. It means my life is not conventional. It means that if you accept this position, if you truly become part of my inner circle, you'll see things that may frighten you. You'll learn truths that will change your understanding of reality. Claire's mouth goes dry. That's cryptic. It's necessary. His gaze intensifies. I need to know you can handle unusual circumstances. I need to know you won't run when things become strange. Are you in the mob or something? The question sounds absurd even as she asks it. He laughs, a genuine, surprised sound. No, nothing so prosaic. But I am dangerous, Claire. I am powerful in ways that most humans can't comprehend. And once you're in my orbit, he leans forward. It's very difficult to leave. Humans. He said humans. Like he's not one. Claire's heart hammers. What are you? Take the job first, he says quietly. Prove yourself. Earn my trust as I earn yours. Then I'll show you everything, I promise. It's insane. She should walk away. She should thank him politely and find a normal job with a normal boss who doesn't talk about secrets and inhuman power and watching her for weeks. But she thinks about her mother dying in a substandard hospice. She thinks about Gerald Thornton's cruel words. She thinks about 2 years of exhaustion and humiliation and barely scraping by. And she thinks about Nathaniel's cool hand on her cheek, his voice promising her everything she's been denied. Okay, she whispers. I'll take the job. His smile is triumphant, predatory, beautiful. Excellent. We'll start immediately. I want you to oversee the renovation, work with my designers, help select the new staff. Your mother will be transferred tomorrow. Your first paycheck will be deposited on Friday. Just like that? Just like that. He stands, offering his hand. Welcome to Grayson Holdings, Claire Whitmore. I have a feeling we're going to do extraordinary things together. She takes his hand, and again that electric current passes between them. This time she doesn't gasp. She holds his gaze, letting him see that she's not afraid. Maybe she should be, but she's not. One more thing, he says, still holding her hand. Tonight I'm hosting a dinner. Business associates, some potential investors. I'd like you to attend. Consider it your first official duty. I don't have anything appropriate to wear to a fancy dinner. That's been arranged. He gestures to his driver who's waiting by the door. Marcus will take you to a boutique. Buy whatever you need. My account. I can't. You can. You will. His thumb strokes across her knuckles. I want you there, Claire. By my side. Let me show my world who you are. Who she is. Not what. Who. Like she matters. Like she's more than just an employee. Okay, she says again. I'll be there. His smile could power a city. 7 p.m. Marcus will collect you at 6:30. And Claire? He leans closer, his breath cool against her ear. Wear red. You'll be spectacular in red. Then he's gone, leaving her standing in the coffee shop, with her head spinning and her heart racing, and the absolute certainty that her life just changed forever. She doesn't know if that's a good thing or a terrible thing, but she's excited to find out. That evening, Claire stands in front of her bathroom mirror, barely recognizing herself. The boutique was like nothing she'd ever experienced. The staff treated her like royalty, bringing out dress after dress, shoes, jewelry, everything. She'd protested the cost until the manager, a severe woman named Isabel, said quietly, Mr. Grayson is one of our most valued clients. When he requests something, we provide it. Please don't insult him by refusing. So Claire had let herself be pampered. Let them dress her in a crimson silk gown that hugs her curves and flows like water. Let them style her hair into soft waves. Let them teach her how to apply makeup that makes her eyes look huge and mysterious. The woman in the mirror is elegant, confident, beautiful. Claire barely recognizes her. At 6:30 exactly, Marcus knocks on her door. He's polite, professional, calling her Miss Whitmore as he escorts her to the car. They drive to the West Hills, where Portland's wealthiest residents live in mansion estates overlooking the city. Marcus turns down a private drive, passing through ornate iron gates that open automatically. The house at the end of the drive isn't a house, it's a monument. A sprawling modern structure of glass and stone and dark wood, perched on the hillside like a predator surveying its territory. Marcus opens her door. Mr. Grayson is expecting you in the main salon, 2nd floor. Inside, the house is even more impressive. Soaring ceilings, modern art on the walls, furniture that belongs in museums. A curved staircase leads up to the second floor, where soft light and the murmur of voices spill from an open doorway. Claire climbs the stairs, her heart hammering. The salon is full of people, 30, maybe 40, all dressed immaculately. Servers circulate with champagne and hors d'oeuvres. Conversation flows in multiple languages. These are wealthy, powerful people. She can feel it in the way they hold themselves, the way they assess each other. She doesn't belong here. Then Nathaniel appears at her side, materializing as if from nowhere. Claire. His eyes travel over her, and heat flares in their pale depths. You're stunning. I feel out of place, she admits quietly. You're the most interesting person in this room. He takes her arm, his touch sending shivers across her skin. Come, I want to introduce you. He guides her through the crowd, and suddenly she's shaking hands with CEOs and investors and people whose names she's only read in Forbes. Nathaniel introduces her as my new general manager and the brilliant woman who's going to transform Portland's dining scene. And people actually listen, actually respect her. It's intoxicating. An older man, silver-haired, sharp-eyed, approaches them. Nathaniel, good to see you. Is this the protege I've heard about? Claire Whitmore, meet Gregory Ashford. He owns half the commercial real estate in the Pacific Northwest. Nathaniel's hand settles on the small of her back, possessive. Gregory, this is Claire. She's going to be running Grayson's. Gregory's eyebrows rise. High praise from Nathaniel. He doesn't trust easily. He extends his hand. Pleasure, my dear. I look forward to seeing what you create. As Gregory moves away, Claire turns to Nathaniel. He called me your protege. You are, among other things. His hand remains on her back, the touch cool even through her dress. Is that a problem? I don't want people to think I got this job because I'm attracted to you. His voice drops, intimate despite the crowd around them. They can think whatever they like. I know your worth, Claire. Soon everyone else will too. Attracted, he said, attracted. Before she can process that, a woman approaches, tall, elegant, with dark skin and eyes like a hawk. She's beautiful, intimidating, and the way she looks at Nathaniel makes Claire's stomach twist. Nathaniel, darling. The woman kisses both his cheeks, European style. You've been hiding. And who is this? Simone, meet Claire Whitmore. Claire, Simone Beaumont. She runs our European operations. Simone's gaze sharpens on Claire, assessing. Whitmore, you're the one he's been obsessed with. Claire blinks. Obsessed? Simone, Nathaniel says, a warning in his voice. Oh, don't be modest. Simone laughs, but there's an edge to it. He's been talking about you for weeks. The smart waitress with the terrible boss. The diamond in the rough. The one who reminds him of... That's enough. Nathaniel's voice could freeze blood. Simone raises her hands in surrender. As you wish. She turns to Claire. Welcome to the family, Claire. I hope you survive it. Then she's gone, leaving Claire with more questions than ever. What did she mean? Claire asks quietly. The one who reminds you of... Who? Nathaniel's jaw tightens. Not here. Later. I promise I'll explain everything. But not here. The evening continues. Claire meets more people, drinks champagne she barely tastes, smiles until her face hurts. Through it all, Nathaniel remains at her side, his presence steady and grounding. Around 10 p.m., he leans down and murmurs, Come with me. I want to show you something. He leads her away from the crowd, down a hallway, through a door that opens onto a terrace. The Portland skyline glitters below them, a carpet of lights stretching to the horizon. It's beautiful, Claire breathes. Yes. But he's not looking at the view. He's looking at her. You handled that beautifully. Those people, they're predators. They sense weakness. But you held your ground. I was terrified. You didn't show it. He steps closer. You're stronger than you know, Claire. The night air is cold, but his proximity warms her. Or maybe it's the champagne. Or maybe it's the way he's looking at her, like she's the only person in the world. Nathaniel, she says quietly, what am I to you? Really? He's silent for a long moment. Then, you're going to think I'm insane. Try me. He laughs softly. You asked what I am. You've been wondering since last night. I can see it in the way you look at me. He reaches out, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear. You're right to wonder. I'm not entirely human. Claire? Her breath catches. She should laugh. Should make a joke. But something in his eyes stops her. What are you? She whispers. Vampire? The word hangs in the air between them. Claire stares at him, waiting for the punchline. But it doesn't come. He just watches her steadily, those pale eyes unblinking. You're serious, she says finally. Completely. Vampires don't exist. We do. We're rare. We're careful. But we exist. He steps closer. I'm over 300 years old, Claire. I've built empires and watched them fall. I've walked through human history like a ghost. And 3 weeks ago, I walked into a dying restaurant and saw a woman who reminded me why humanity is worth protecting. Claire's mind races. Vampire. He thinks he's a vampire. Or he wants her to think he is. But why? What's the angle? Then she remembers. His cool skin. His nocturnal schedule. The way he ordered his steak nearly raw. The way he moved with inhuman grace. The way his eyes seemed to glow. Prove it, she says. He smiles, revealing elongated canines that definitely weren't there a moment ago. As you wish. Then he's moving, faster than should be possible, and suddenly she's pressed against the terrace railing with his body caging hers. Not threatening, protective. I could kill you, he murmurs. I could drain you dry in seconds, but I won't. Do you know why? Claire's heart hammers. She should be terrified. She is terrified. But there's something else, too. Excitement. Exhilaration. Why? She whispers. Because you're mine. His hand cups her face. From the moment I saw you, I knew. You're meant for this world. Meant for me. And I will protect you with everything I have. I will destroy anyone who tries to harm you. I will give you power, security, respect. All I ask in return is your loyalty, your trust. His thumb strokes her cheek. And eventually, if you're willing, your love. This is insane, she breathes. Yes. He leans closer, his lips a breath from hers. Do you want me to stop? She should say yes. She should run screaming. She should find a priest or a psychiatrist or someone. Instead, she says, no. His kiss is cool and devastating. Claire melts into it, her hands fisting in his jacket as he claims her mouth with a thoroughness that makes her knees weak. When he finally pulls back, they're both breathing hard. Say you're mine, he demands. Say it, Claire. I'm yours, she whispers. God help me, I'm yours. His smile is pure triumph. Good girl. Now come back inside. We have guests to dazzle and a future to build. He leads her back to the party, his arm around her waist, and Claire realizes that everything has changed. She's not just an employee. She's not just a manager. She's chosen by a vampire king. Protected. Claimed. And tomorrow, when Gerald Thornton loses everything, when her mother is transferred to the best care facility in the state, when she steps into her new role at Grayson's, with her head held high, she'll do it knowing that Nathaniel Grayson has her back, that she's part of something bigger, stranger, more dangerous than she ever imagined. She'll do it knowing that she's finally been seen. And God, it feels good. The next morning, Claire wakes to 3 missed calls from her mother's old hospice center and a voicemail from Pacific Palliative Care confirming Dorothy's transfer. It's really happening. All of it. She visits her mother that afternoon. Dorothy's new room is beautiful, spacious, sunny, with a view of a garden. She's already looking better, more comfortable, pain-free for the first time in weeks. "How did you manage this, sweetheart?" Dorothy asks, tears streaming down her face. "How did you afford—" "New job, Mom. A really good new job." Claire holds her mother's hand. "Everything's going to be okay now. I promise." And for the first time in years, she believes it. That evening, she receives a text from Nathaniel. "Turn on the news." She does. The lead story is about Gerald Thornton. His restaurant is closed, his assets frozen, criminal charges pending for labor violations and health code breaches. The reporter mentions multiple employee testimonies, documented evidence of wage theft, and some disturbing allegations involving harassment. Gerald's face flashes on screen, haggard, defeated, humiliated. Claire feels nothing but fierce satisfaction. Her phone rings. "Nathaniel." "Did you see?" he asks. "Yes." "How do you feel?" "Like justice was served." "Good." She can hear the smile in his voice. "Tomorrow we start renovations. I want you there at noon. We'll begin building your kingdom, Claire." "Your kingdom, not his, hers." "I'll be there," she promises. "I know you will. You're mine now, and I take care of what's mine." After they hang up, Claire stands at her window, looking out at the Portland skyline. Somewhere out there, Nathaniel is probably just waking up, starting his nocturnal existence, her vampire king, her protector, her future. It should scare her. Maybe tomorrow it will. But tonight she just feels powerful, chosen, free. Tomorrow her new life truly begins, and she can't wait.